Hello guys, welcome to another video on this AWS Certified Solutions Architect, and this is for the associate level. And in this video, we are going to go over some of the storage. So we are going to talk about storage and also compute. Those two are related, and these are the recommended knowledge that you need from the AWS Certified Solutions Architect exam. And I put a PowerPoint together. And then after the PowerPoint, we are going to go over the AWS console, and I'm going to show you around what Elastic Block Storage is, right? And how to configure. So, Amazon EBS. So Elastic Block Storage, or EBS, allows you to create block storage for components like EC2 instances to have the needed storage or drives. So for example, if you want to spin up like a Linux instance in EC2, you can store it on an elastic block storage, and you will have a nice persistent storage for the EC2 instance. So that means that whenever you create an EC2, and you can see that, you can go ahead into the Amazon console. Whenever you're going to launch it, EC2, if you go over and look at the storage, how is that going to be handled? It's going to be handled by EBS. By default, all the um, all the data it is persistent in EC2. Before EBS was created, the data on an instance was non-persistent. So whenever you shut down your EC2, you will lose everything in it. But now, I think like 5 years ago, Amazon came out with EBS, or Elastic Block Storage, and now it allowed the instance to save or to save all the data in the instances. So if you shut down your EC2 and you bring it back up, you're still going to have all your data in it. Okay. So one of the EBS versus the instance store, and this is what they call it. That's what they used to call the old version. It was the instance stores. And an alternative to EBS when it comes to block storage, and that is called an instance store or ephemeral store, which is temporarily. And you keep in mind that ephemeral storage still has its place in AWS because it can be faster and cheaper than EBS. That's because it is temporary, right? They don't keep any data. And when you enter the EC2 and select the new Amazon machine image to spin up an EC2 instance, you're going to notice that every single root device type that is used will be EBS. Like I said before, by default, every single instance is EBS unless you tell it otherwise. So Elastic Block Store will be the default for your storage, and you want to keep it like that, right? If you're going to be saving data into your instance, you want to have it as a EBS and not as an instance store, because when you shut down the computer, if you use an instance store, um, all the data is going to be wiped out. And with EBS approach, you can even make sure that storage sticks around and is persistent when you terminate the VM that is running on top of it. An EBS volume is often created as a part of the creation of the new EC2 instance. And one of the things that you could do, you can like take a snapshot of your EBS, and with that snapshot, even if like your data goes bad, you still have that snapshot, which is basically like a backup of all your data in it, and then you can just spin up another image, and then you can attach that EBS snapshot to that new image, and then you're going to have your all your data back. And here's are the type of EBS that are out there. There's one that is called the EBS Provision IOPS SSD, and IOPS means input output per second. Okay, and this EBS Provision input output per second SSD is the highest performance SSD volume designed for latency sensitive transactions workloads. And then we have the EBS General Purpose SSD, or the GP2. General purpose SSD balances price performance for a wide variety of transaction workloads. And then we have the throughput optimized HDD. This HDD volume designed for frequently accessed throughput intensive workloads. So like a database, you could use this. And then we have the code HDD or SC1. It is the lowest cost HDD volume designed for less frequent access workloads. And now let's go ahead and do that lab by creating an EBS volume. Let's go into the AWS console. And first, what I want to see, I want to show you guys that whenever you launch a instance, it's going to ask you what type of EBS you want to have. So let's go ahead and launch an instance. Let's pick this one, default one. And you can see right here, you can see that the family of that image that you want to launch is in the general purposes. It is a free tier. How many VPUs are running? It's going to be running one. Memory gigabyte one. Instant storage. Instant storage is going to be EBS. Elastic Block Storage only. As you can see, you can only have EBS for this one. And if you go down, you can see that this one can have one um, SSD. You can have a couple more SSDs over here. This one is only EBS only. So it depends of what machine you're going to be launching. You can have different storage on it. You can see EBS only and SSDs and all of that good stuff. So if we go back up, let's go ahead and select this general purpose on the free tier, um, review and launch. And over here, if we want to even before you launch it, on the review, if you want to change the storage, I believe you could do it from here. You can do edit storage, as you can see right here. You can add um, a bigger size if you want to from here. If you want to have like 10, you can go ahead and add 10. You can add whatever you want on it. And also it lets you select general purpose SSD, provision IOPS SSD, or magnetic, which is the standard one. So you can pick and choose whatever you want. Um, the IOPS, it doesn't let you play with it. So for that, I believe you need to create a new volume, but let's keep it like that. And you can see that delete on termination. So whenever you delete your instance, it's going to also delete your EBS. If you don't want that to happen, then you can just go ahead and keep it, okay? And as you can see, by default, it is not encrypted, but if you want to encrypt it, you can just go ahead and encrypt it. You can encrypt your EBS. And also, if you want to add a new volume, you can go ahead and add a new volume over here. If you want to delete on termination, you can go ahead and do that. But we're not going to add a new volume. Let's go ahead and delete this. Let's go ahead and review and launch. Let's go ahead and launch it. You're going to use the same key pair. We're not really going to connect to it. Okay, here we go. View the instances. Sorry for that. As you can see right here, it is pending right now. But I believe from the description, you're going to be able to see what is the storage on this device. But we don't have any elastic IP address. Monitor RAM. Where is the storage on this device? I think it will be over here. Looks like it's not over here. Instance running platform. Okay, let's go ahead and go into then. Um, if you go right here, if you go to the category of elastic block storage, you can see the volumes. And you can see that there is one created right now, and you can see that the state is in use because whenever you launch an instance, like I said before, it's going to also launch that EBS storage. And what you could do right here, if you want to have a backup of your EBS, and you can see the size that we changed it, it was 8 and we changed it to 10. If you want to have a backup of your data, you can go ahead and do, first of all, you need to stop it because if you don't stop it, it won't let you do it. Let's go ahead and stop it. It will let you do it, but if you are in between of writing something to your instance and you copy it halfway, then your EBS get um, could go bad, or could be like your data is gonna be like halfway through, because when you copy it and you were putting in data in, whatever the data was at that time is going to be there. So if you were in the middle of a transaction or sending data into it, then you won't have that data. So let's go ahead and stop it. That's best practices is to stop it, and then you go to volumes, and from the volumes you can just create a snapshot. And this is snapshot. You can looks like you can add encrypted, you can add tags, you can add whatever you want. And let's go ahead and create a snapshot. There we go. And if you go ahead and refresh that, it is not here. For you to be able to see the snapshots, which are the backups, the snapshot is a backup, you can go into the categories of Elastic Block Stored, and then you go into snapshots. And you can see right here, it is in progress because it is actually backing it up. It is backing up your data. So the process right now, the progress is at 2%, as you can see right here, and the status is pending. So what you could do is, this snapshot is pending, and whenever it is done, and if you delete your instance, and you after you delete that instance, your instance is going to remove that volume that you have right here. But since you have a backup, right, there we go, it is completed. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and go into the instances so you guys can see, and let's go ahead and terminate it, which means that it's going to delete that instance. And since it's going to delete that instance, it's going to also going to delete that your EBS volume. As you can see, it is gone right now, but we still got that snapshot right here. And we could do some actions into this. You can create a volume out of it, create an image, copy it, modify permissions, add tags to it. So you can do a lot of stuff, but here is your backup. Okay, so if we go now into instances, and if we want to launch a new one, right, we're going to launch another one. Let's go ahead and to edit the storage. Is it lets you add a new volume? Not encrypted. Okay, let's go ahead and just let's go ahead and just launch one. Let's see what happens. I think if you launch one, you can also attach that. If you launch it, I acknowledge, launch, go to the instances. You can see this one has been terminated. This one is pending. And if you go into your snapshots, you can see that we have a volume right here. But now what you could do is you can create a volume out of this backup that you have right here. It's going to be this general purpose SSD. Of course, going to be 10 because that was the backup. You can put it in the availability zone that you want. You can also encrypt it if you want to. There you go. So now we do not have, we still have the snapshot. So even if you, after you create that volume, as you can see right now, it is available. So what we could do is, so after, in Snapchat, it's always going to be there. The backup is always going to be there. But then after the backup, what you could do is you can make it into a volume, which is not in use. And if you want to attach this volume to the new instance that you have right now, you can go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and attach the volume. But we don't have anything in over here. The volume, yep, we have to tell which device we want to attach it to. What if we delete this one or detach? It won't let you detach it. So let's see if we go into this one, instance ID. We can go ahead and copy it, go ahead into the volumes. This one is available. Let's go ahead and attach it. So I believe because we don't have anything in this availability zone, because the instance that we have right now running, it is in US East 1D. We want to go to the same availability zone as this one. Or what we could do, we can go ahead and just delete this volume. Okay, after we delete it, let's go ahead into the snapshots. Let's create a new snapshot and let's put it in the same availability zone that my instance is. And that way we are going to be able to attach it. So let's go ahead and create an image, or not an image. Let's go ahead and create a volume and let's put it in 1D. Let's go ahead into the volumes. It is in 1D. Let's give it a second. It is available now. Actions. Let's see if we are able to attach it. And let's put it on this one. As you can see now, since we put in the same availability zone as the instance that I have running, you can see now that it is there. And we can go ahead and attach it. And now, since it is attached, this one is the one that we're going to be using now. And what I want to do is I just want to detach the other one because I don't want to use that. I want to use the backup from my old instance. So let's go ahead and actions, detach. Is it going to let me detach it? It is not going to let me to detach it from it because I believe it's a default. What if we are we able to, it doesn't even let you delete it or anything like that. So that's a way that you can attach a backup. So um, let's go ahead and detach. That should let me detach it because it's not the default one. So that's going to delete it. So that is one way that you can get your data back. So it is detached. Now let's go ahead and delete it, right? Okay, now it's going to be deleted. It is deleted. If we go back to the snapshots, that's still the snapshot that we have right here. We can create an image if we want to. Um, we can name it test backup. We can use that snapshots that we had. Default. Oh, this is good. Architecture good. RAM is default. Okay. Not encrypted. Let's go ahead and create. Close. So we have created an image. So now, since we have created a image, we can go ahead into the images, and you can see that we have an image created from that snapshot that we created from my first instance. And what we could do is we can go right here and we can launch it. We can launch a free tier one, review and launch using the same key pair and launch it. So there we go. So whenever you have a backup, you can either um, from the snapshot create a volume and then from the volume attach it to an instance. Or what you could do is from the snapshot, you can create your own image. And then from that image, you can go ahead and um, deploy a new EC2 instance. As you can see, that's what we did. Okay, so this is it for this video, guys. And if you guys enjoyed this video, why don't you guys go ahead and go to IT Pro TV, which is the website that I'm using to learn about AWS. And if you want 30% off, what you could do is you can use my promo code ASKEROGANDO 2, and what it's going to give you is it's going to give you 30% off and also a 7-day trial. So they're going to give you a 7-day free trial and 30% off. And if you don't like it after 7 days, hey, you can go ahead and cancel it. But if you love it, you're going to get 30% off with my promo code ASKEROGANDO 2. So um, thank you for watching this video, guys. And also, if you have a Twitter account, why don't you just go ahead and follow me on Twitter at CCNA Daily Tips. This is it, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.